Hello YouTube. Welcome to my little 3-month ownership review. It's actually a little bit overdue. I've had it a little bit over 3 months now, about 3.5 months roughly. 3 months ownership review of my Tiger 800. So first, a few little walk around bits first. There's not really been any actual changes since last time you would have seen this, except for the beak. I managed to get hold of a beak. Normally they're like about, I don't know, 70 or 80 quid to buy. Unfortunately, they don't do one, or I could never find one in the right blue for this. This is sapphire blue, and I think on these ones, on the Tiger 800, they didn't have a beak for them until the XC, but the XC ones came in different colours, so there was never a blue beak for a Tiger 800 road-going version, as far as I could tell anyway. But anyway, I had a bit of a shop around, normally about 70 or 80 quid. This one came up on eBay from Dave Death Motorcycles over on the Isle of Wight for, I think it was 25 quid, I think. So I thought, well, it's cheap enough, so I might as well get it. It didn't specify that it fitted this particular model. It was more designed for the newer models, but it's fit absolutely fine. So it's just the colour that's wrong, which is not too far off the this bit. These bits, it's almost matched. These are a bit darker. I don't know how we can really tell on the camera. So the colour's a bit off, but I'll probably just get it painted anyway, either the blue or just in black or something, just so it doesn't look quite so out of place. But otherwise, yeah, it certainly improved the look of the front end, I'd say. Still need to sort out some fog lights, but yeah, that'll get them when I can afford some. I have found some cheap ones, which I might get just in the meantime, but I'd really like the Triumph ones because they just fit properly. And they have the right switch, the little switch on it, which goes on this thing here next to the heated grips. So it's like heated grips and fog lights, which will be nice and tidy, whereas a third party one, it'll just be a separate switch somewhere. So yeah, I'll make my mind up on that soon enough. I've got a little update on the Tutoro chain oiler. That's doing really well, although I have had a couple of issues with the nozzle. I'm not sure if we're actually going to get in there to see that. It was raining yesterday. I've got some surface rust on my chain from yesterday, which hasn't been cleaned off yet. Anyway, excuse all that. Yeah, I had some issues with the nozzle. I can't get the camera in to see it, but basically I was using the twin feed nozzle, which is like a little fork-shaped thing that fits either side of the sprocket, and it drips oil onto both sides of the sprocket. I think due to the nature of how it's all set up, it had got either knocked, or when I was pushing the bike backwards, it caught the nozzle, but it was basically knocking it out of place several times. In fact, once it had knocked it out of place and it was catching on the actual teeth of the sprocket, and it's actually made a hole in the nozzle, so I've had to get rid of that now. It's no good. So I'll switch to the standard, not single feed nozzle. I've got that all fitted, just rearranged some cable ties and stuff, and that seems to be in place a lot more sturdier now, and it shouldn't move anywhere, and it is still. There it is, right where I left it. So yeah, so far that has been absolutely fine. As for the rest of the things I want to say, I think we can do on the move, so I'll jump on and we'll have a ride around somewhere. So we're on 34,000 miles. Service soon. There we go. I don't feel the need to put a louder exhaust on, upgrade to the Arrow or anything like that. I'm quite happy with how it sounds. I'm not too fussed about the noise of it at the minute, but yeah, we'll see if that changes in time. So yeah, we're 34,000 miles, so that's about, well, 4,000 miles that I've put on it. It's the first bit of anything near to off-roading that I've done on this. Not that I plan to do any, of course. Bit of a gravel road, that's it. So yeah, 4,000 very comfortable miles. Very happy with it. I have had a little issue. I don't even know if it's an issue. I think it's just a thing that has happened. Last week, the fuel gauge was completely empty. The range said 0, but the fuel light wasn't on. The fuel light later came on, and then the fuel gauge did start to show some miles left. I went to a petrol station expecting that I'd be quite low. Filled up, and it was there was still a good 4 or 5 litres of fuel left to play with if I was going to do a full tank, because it's a 19 litre tank, and I think it only took about 14 or 15 litres when fueling up. So I think the fuel sensor thing inside the fuel tank might be a little bit peculiar, let's say. At the minute, it seems to be right, because I have just filled up. I usually get about 200 miles, and the range is saying about 197 miles. So at the minute, that seems to be going all right. But last week, yeah, it did a bit of a thing like that, and I'm not really sure why. I'm guessing it might have something to do with the colder temperatures that we've started getting. Maybe that kind of affects it. I'm not sure, but I'm going to keep an eye on it and see. But yeah, other than that, it's very comfortable. I'm currently up in Leicestershire. I rode up here yesterday, all in one trip. Didn't need to stop, didn't feel tired or anything like that. I was nice and comfortable, and very toasty, of course, because we've got heated grips on this, and yes, they're excellent. They probably don't get as hot as the Oxford ones, but really, I've very rarely had my Oxford grips on full whack, because they were too hot. So the maximum setting on these, I mean, yeah, so you got maximum and then medium and off or something, or high, low and off. That's probably a better way of putting it. Yeah, the high setting, it's high enough, certainly. I do need to turn it down if I have it on high after a little while. So far, but we've not really got to the freezing temperatures yet. That I would is sort of the lowest temperatures I ride in, is sort of just above freezing point. So we'll see how it goes whenever we get to that point. I think tomorrow morning is going to be quite cold. I think, yeah, it's forecast about 0, -2, and I'm going to be riding over to the bike show in the morning. So we'll see how cold I am. One of the things I wasn't sure I'd get on with or not on this is the screen. On the newer models, I've always had issues with the wind buffeting. I either get buffeting or too much wind noise or whatever. On this screen, it's fine. I don't really have an issue with this. It's in the right position for me. But yeah, the newer ones, even if on the newer ones, which are adjustable, I can never find a nice spot for it. It's always, yeah, just not right. I'm going to go right here. I have completely forgotten where I am. Completely lost my bearings. We're in Leicestershire somewhere, just near Shackleton. As for the performance, I do really enjoy this. When you really want to make it shift, it can do. But I can see why people prefer the 1200 to the 800. Why, yeah, some people prefer that. Because they have just got that bit more oomph, whereas you can sort of feel it lacking a bit in areas. But really, for practicality and what I want, it's absolutely fine. So yeah, just a few little extras that I'll put on it eventually. Oh, actually, that's what I was going to mention on the walk around. Actually, was the rear hugger on this. It's a Jivy rear hugger. Useless. I've never known a bike to get so dirty at the back end that's not had a tail tidy put on or anything like that. It's terrible. It's just the dirt off the road, it just gets everywhere. So I might put something different on just to see if it's any better or not. I'm not sure if there is any improving it or not, but worth a try. But yeah, the Jivy one, I mean, yeah, it does a bit of a job mostly, but it's not all. It looks, the plastic of it's not very nice. Power Bronze do a very nice looking gloss black rear hugger and chain guard all in one piece, which I think I might get because it's not too expensive either. I really would like the Triumph Expedition panniers and top box, but they are so expensive. I just can't really justify it because I won't really use them that much. I mean, I've got the Jivy top box, which does come in useful. Actually, I have been using that more than I thought I would. Even though it's ginormous, I still use it because it's I've got it. It's there. It's convenient. I might as well make use of it. So yeah. So that's good. But yeah, it'd be nice to have the aluminium ones just for a better look, really. As for the features, this one, obviously the 800 standard one, it doesn't have anywhere near as many features as the newer models, or like the XRT and that sort of thing. From my many test rides of various Tigers, for some reason I've test ridden Tigers the most, I think, just how things have worked out. I've always loved all the, you know, the TFT screen, the cruise control, all the other features that they have. When I got this, I thought I would probably miss not having them in a way, or I'd have thought that the standard model isn't enough for me, knowing how good them features are. Where do we go here? I think we go left here. Yes, we do. I know where we are. Market Bosworth. Yeah, but no, not having cruise control. I mean, that's probably the main feature I would use if I had it. But no, I don't really miss it. It's got the important things. It's got the heated grips. I don't feel the need for it to have sport mode or off-road mode and that sort of thing. So really, yeah, the rider modes aren't really not having rider modes or the other electronic features. It's not really a problem. Yeah, I think that fuel gauge thing's fixed itself. I'm getting 210 predicted range now, so yeah, I think whatever it was has fixed itself. Anyway, I think that's everything I needed to cover in this 3-month ownership review of my Tiger 800. I hope you found it useful. If you're looking at getting a Tiger 800, I highly recommend it. Obviously the newer ones are better, but the older ones aren't as bad. Well, not bad really. They're not. Obviously the newer ones are better, but the older ones are cheaper, and they're not that much worse than the newer ones. Why is there a microwave on top of that hill? What? That was weird. Okay, I think we'll end it there. Thank you for watching. Obviously any questions, I'll try and answer them the best I can in the comments. Leave them below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one.